Evanye Lawson,
Yeah.
who is, wait, I have my notes so I get it correct.
I love it.
You are a licensed psychotherapist.
Mm-hmm.
You are a self-love coach,
Mm-hmm.
a speaker, and an author.
Yeah.
And we're here in your beautiful home studio today.
Welcome.
Which is like totally inspiring me. I want a space like this.
This
It's
is
so
so
beautiful.
cool. Yeah.
So you host breathwork ceremonies as well.
I do.
So
I love hosting breathwork ceremonies. So fun for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like we met. Actually, I remember like
It was
meeting
like
you on
Facebook.
because there was some like thread that you commented on, and I was like, I like that woman. Her answer, like whatever she said in that thread, like
Right.
she lives in Atlanta.
It's like we should connect.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you feel like a kindred spirit.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, here we are, and we're here to learn more about what you do and learn more about your journey. And
Yeah.
you do so much healing work. I love your website. First of all, wait, what is the website
Thank you.
again?
So it's cultivateselflove.com.
cultivateselflove.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some awesome like videos about
Oh, yeah.
dealing with anxiety and you work with women.
Yeah, I do. I work with women and I teach them really how to have compassion for themselves, learning how to prioritize what love looks like for themselves. Because I think what I noticed just in my own journey and just in the women that I've worked with, there's this need to give away so much of who we are to other people.
Right.
And not enough comes back to us.
Right.
And so I wanted to create a space where I taught women of all kinds to be able to really tap back into what is it that I need? What is it that I want? And be able to go ahead and ask for that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I've referred you to a couple of my life coaching clients as well, because I'm like, I don't know, I feel like people in Atlanta, I'm like, if you need a therapist and you want someone that's like
Come over.
hip and cool and spiritual and into like all these alternative methodologies, then you're
Come
just
on
like,
over.
it's amazing. I love meeting therapists who are, holistic minded. And
Oh my gosh, and there's not enough of us out
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really just not taught.
Mm-hmm.
It's not taught. I had to learn how to integrate it just in my own spiritual walk
Okay.
and figure out how to really meet people at a soul level. Yeah, and that was really where the shift took place for me.
So tell us about your journey. So like, it's funny because I had when Tumi was on here, we talked about like her being a doctor, and she went to like just medical school and then, got into alternative stuff. So for you, did you know that you wanted to be a therapist like when you were young? Did you head on that path right away, or?
I did. I was a little kid knowing that I wanted to just help people. I didn't know how I wanted to help people, but I knew that helping people was just part of the spectrum. And it wasn't until I got into maybe middle school where I knew it was going to be doing something with families. I was like, okay, I'm going to do something with families. If it's going to either be a lawyer or it's going to be a nurse. And I wasn't sure what that was, and neither one of them panned out. I was like, I don't want to do that. That's not my personality.
Yeah.
And people just continued to come to me with their problems, and I would just naturally be able to hold space for them.
Okay.
And it just became organic, and it wasn't until high school where I took my first psychology class, and I was like, oh, this is it. Oh my gosh, this is it. So I took a psychology class, and then that's when the doors really unlocked for me. I went to school for psychology. I got my master's in counseling. I mean, I just went the whole gamut. There was no stopping point. And
so you were like in your 20s, or
in my early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah, really going through this whole space. And then even after getting my master's, I had to learn. There's like this 3 years that you have to be provisionally licensed here in Georgia.
Okay.
And so you have to work like
a lot
to get all of your hours to be fully licensed as a therapist. And I had always known that I just wasn't going to do the traditional route of therapy.
Right.
I knew early on that there was just no way to do any deep healing if for people if they weren't going to be able to go beyond what the psyche was telling us. And so I wanted to go beyond that. I wanted to go beyond the soul, and that's how things really started to open up for me. I got into energy healing, and I started doing a lot of energy healing work. And
are you like a Reiki person or
no? Pranic healing.
Pranic healing.
Yeah. Well, I am certified in Reiki. I'm certified in so many different energy healings. Like and I've created my own energy healing systems. Like I just understand energy, you know. And so I had to go through the gamut of education and learning that information. But even as a kid, I started meditating when I was like 9 or 10. And I didn't know what I was doing. It was just my parents got me a book because I was super interested in angels, and I had like all these statues and pins about angels, and my parents were like, well, she likes to read, so here's a book. Here's a book on how to connect with angels. And I literally read that book from beginning to end and practiced every tool in there. I mean, I was astral projecting at 14 and 15.
Whoa,
I was like leaving my body and doing all kinds of stuff. But I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I was doing some stuff. And I had already gotten into this habit of my inner world. So it was very natural for me. And so, of course, when I got to be older, I knew the value in diving inside versus being out here externally, because there was so much to gain.
Right.
And so I wanted to be able to bring a lot of that same level of soul, spiritual, dimensional work into the therapy space.
Okay. So you started seeing, like, you were seeing private clients after you were in school, and then...
Yeah, well, after I got out of my master's program, I couldn't naturally see private clients on my own. So I had to work with agencies.
Okay.
And I mean, in that way that I could see clients in that way.
Right.
But so I had to work my way up to seeing private clients. Because it's illegal to do it without that.
Got it. So, but you were already incorporating spiritual stuff. So you were kind of doing that from the
I was already doing that from the get-go. In my internship, I was doing that from the start. Because I knew that when I got into my internship, I worked at a hospice. And it was such a beautiful spiritual space to be in, to work with people dying. Yeah. And to also work with people grieving and healing in that way, because the only thing you can really do with them is to be present. There was no bag of tricks that I had to come with, but I had to learn how to really surrender and let the person be where they were. And that opened me up to a world of, they can still feel energy. So I'm going to play the drums, I'm going to do Reiki on them, I'm going to sing their favorite song or play it in the background or read them poetry or whatever the case may be while they're slowly transitioning. And I was able to really get this full understanding of what it meant to be with the client, like really be. Without having an agenda of needing them to get somewhere. Like, you're coming to me, there's a goal, there's an outcome. It's like, but what about just being right here? Because there's a beauty in just being right here. That's so connecting. And really helping people carve that out and honoring what that looks like for them without needing to fully... Yes, you're going to get to an outcome. That's part of the goal. That's part of life. We're going to get somewhere some kind of way. But in the process of it, you don't have to beat yourself up for it. Just learning how to be right here. So that's what I started doing right off the gate. And it just kind of cultivated over time.
Because I know I've seen some things that you've shared online about your own personal journey and getting into breath work, and that helped breath work healed.
Oh my gosh.
Was it so with anxiety?
With I had a severe case of anxiety for a long time. I struggled with phobias, and I was having panic attacks on a regular daily basis. I mean, I always jokingly say to people, I had every anxiety diagnosis listed in the diagnostic manual.
Whoa,
literally. And therapists didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know what to do. They would try this, and then it wouldn't work, and then they'd try this, and then it wouldn't work. And I didn't know enough about myself in that process to know how to ask for help. And it wasn't until I found my breathwork coach, his name is Michael Castile, and may he rest in peace. Do you know Michael?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was my teacher.
It's funny. I actually thought of him earlier today, believe it or not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I learned from him how
Okay.
small the world is. Oh my gosh. And I went to him literally not expecting breath work. I said, hey, I'm in my internship in my master's program, and I want to learn how to blend my spiritual gifts with psychology. Can you help me? He said, yeah, come. We had this whole consultation, and I was just like, whoa, I think I need to work with this dude. He said, in order for you to really do this work, you're going to have to go through it. And I went through it, and for 6 months, we didn't even touch the problem. We went beyond the problem and fixed that. And that took care of all the phobias and the severeness of my anxiety.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa! And because of breath work and coaching, the combination was deep. And every time we would do the work, he would say, here, go, you teach this. He would give me his material. He'd let me teach it to my clients. And he said, just play with it. He'd let me work on him personally. And we'd switch roles, and I'd become the teacher. He'd become the student. And I got a chance to just figure it out with him. And then he said, all right, now you can go and learn, but just create it your way. And that's how I learned breath work. And so I've been figuring it out my own way and doing what he, of course, taught me. A lot of my work is influenced by the work he had taught me. But breath work has just become one of these powerful modalities that I don't think we can live without the breath.
Yeah.
We cannot live without the breath.
Yeah.
It is like the nutrition of our vitality. It is something that allows for us to really have access to our pure essence. Yeah. And so breathwork really just opened me up to a whole world of just this yummy goodness. I got a chance to really let go of the things that continue to keep me stuck. And now, even when I have any form of anxiety or any form of confusion or overwhelm, I always return back to the breath. Because I know the breath always has the answer. So now I teach it to my clients. I give it to classes. And so it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I just recently started to get into breath work, and I didn't understand really. I was like, okay, so you sit there and like you breathe. Like, what's the big deal? Like, it's like meditating or breathing. Like, but I didn't realize until I started to do breathwork ceremonies and breathwork, just how deeply healing it is. Like how it releases all this stuck emotion and energy and like repressed memories, and it can be like a really intense process.
It can be.
Yeah,
and there's so many different ways that ceremonies are done. And I've got a variety of knowledge about different ceremony ways, and the one I always fall back on is more holotropic style, where you're breathing in a very fast-paced rate, and you're forcing that energy out of the body, and it is going to evoke an emotional catharsis, emotional release, and it's transformative. I mean, it transformed my life, and it transforms the lives of others. So it's really cool that you are experiencing that for yourself. Yeah, it's interesting, and it seems like breathwork is starting to catch on in Atlanta right now too. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a lot more happening. Me too, including you. Yes, here in the space where we are. I know, right? In this whole space, breathwork is taking place. I'm surprised about it. Breathwork is having a really large upswing. I'm seeing so much of it on Instagram, and I'm like, what? When I was doing breathwork, nobody knew what that was. They'd be like, I don't know what that is. It would just be more out of curiosity. Everybody's really healing right now. They really are. We're all craving it. It's wild. I actually heard yesterday that the number of yoga studios has doubled in Atlanta over the past year, or something crazy like that. That's just amazing. That it's growing. Yoga, it's amazing. So it's like we're in this serious age of Aquarius, and people are really just in the need for some safety and some nourishment. Yeah. So
So people can come to your breathwork events in Atlanta.
They can, yeah.
And then people can work with you as a therapist. You can be their therapist in person.
Yeah, the therapist or their coach, depending on what we're doing.
And then, but you also see clients online too. I just want to make it clear, because some people, I know I felt very drawn to you on video before, and I was like, who's this person? So there may be people watching that want, you know, that are like, oh my gosh, I've never known. You know, there's this cool, Evanye's like this cool therapist, and I need a therapist, and but I don't live in Georgia. Or like, how does it, or coaching, can you see people with coaching virtually?
Across the well, and all of my clients I see online, even my therapy clients. So anybody, like no matter what, I think some people don't really understand what therapy would look like online. They're like, I don't know how that works. And then they do it and they're like, oh, it's not any different. Because I think we're just so used to having this in-person connection, and that's beautiful. Right. But I love being accessible to anyone who wants it. So therapy definitely for people in Georgia, but coaching for anyone, wherever you live. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
So, and breathwork for sure.
And what kind of people usually come to you? It's like you work mostly with women, or exclusively with women.
Yeah, and so the biggest things that people usually come to me with are any forms of anxiety and depression. So I'm getting people who are specifically struggling with people-pleasing and not knowing their identity. The things that I always hear the most is, I feel lost, like I don't have a way back to myself, and I don't know what that looks like anymore. Or my life got so, I got so disconnected, now I'm overwhelmed, and I have so much self-doubt, and I'm always second-guessing myself, and I don't know how to get back to my center. And I'm like, I can help you figure out what that center looks like again, because chances are it doesn't look like what you thought it did from beginning. It's now different. You're going through this transformational shift, and there's a power in honoring where you are, but getting some tools along the way, it'll be really helpful.
Awesome. Yay. And so people can find you.
They can find me on cultivateselflove.com.
I love that.
Thank you. Just come to the website, and if you want to find me on social media, you can go to Instagram, and I'm Cultivate Self Love on Instagram, and on Facebook, I'm at the Self Love Center.
The Self Love Center. The
Self Love.
You've got a good handle on naming things.
Thank you.
I just love self love. So
such a beautiful process. We're always learning how to love ourselves even more. Be able to hold space for ourselves.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Debra.
I know there's like hours and hours more that we
can talk about.
We've already been doing some of that before
the
this
recording.
video.
Yeah, seriously.
So, yeah, it feels like we've kind of given people a little taste.
Of what this looks like. Yeah, and I'm here to help and support anyone. Who is desiring some support. So if you're looking for a way back home to yourself, or just looking to feel good, again, some people forget that. Yeah. They don't remember what it feels like, or they struggle with it. Definitely reach out.
Right. And there's something really beautiful about someone that's really been on the path.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's it can be so easy to like fabricate things like online and create like these personas sometimes. And it's like, your energy is just so amazing. Like to me, I just would never have any idea that you were someone that would have struggled with, all these different things. And you just emanate such a light, and you've got like this just wonderful bubbliness, and you're so tuned into energy.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate
intuitive, and like this is my first time being in your space, and it feels so healing in here. It feels like really, really, really good. The energy's really clear and beautiful. It's a sanctuary temple in here. It's really nice.
It's good. Come to the space. I haven't been out of my own home, so
yeah, it's really wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad we finally did this.
It's been a good process coming.
Yes.
So it finally happened.
Thank you, Evanye. It's an honor to know you, and I look forward to experiencing even more of community with you. So,
thank you.
Yeah, welcome. All right.
Yay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.